It's open. You just have to pull it. You have to pull it.
Is it automatic or?
No, it's not. Yeah, just give it a little more umph. For Steph, correct?
Yes.
Alrighty, nice. Thank you.
Bye.
Cell phone charger back there if you need one.
Awesome, thank you.
Looks like we're heading to O'Hare United.
Yes.
Alrighty. Were you visiting Chicago or going off to work?
I was visiting Chicago. My best friend and I went to the Taylor Swift concert last night.
Ah, Swifties. How was it?
It was amazing.
Yeah. I was reading this thing where people are saying it was like such an experience that they have like they're failing to recall how much it was.
Yeah.
So what was like some of the cool stuff she did, if you don't mind me asking, if you can remember it?
I think it's a lot of just like the music. Like she hasn't toured since like 2017, and she's put out like 4 albums, and then on top of like re-releasing like her own like past music just to like get the usage and the rights back to her own music.
Okay.
And I think too, like I've just always been a fan of Taylor Swift since I was like 15. So I like kind of grew up with her, and so one, it's just the music.
Sure.
I just love it. And it's just so well produced. It's like a show. It's just, she's got incredible outfits. She's just like interacting with the entire like arena or like the entire stadium. Like you don't feel like, because you're not on the floor, like you don't, you know, like there's no bad seat.
Oh, so well, that's pretty cool. She brings the show to everybody. That's amazing.
But yeah, it's just everything. She's just great. She's a great performer.
Sure. I mean, she's as big as she is for a reason, so I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this tour was like the Eras tour, so it was kind of going through.
Yeah, all the like albums that she had released from like right before the pandemic to the 3. Yeah, it was just incredible.
That's awesome. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And good for you on getting those tickets. I know they're not easy to get.
My friend was the one that got them, and he was like, I want to take you to Taylor Swift for your birthday.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday. Or
Thank you.
My birthday's next Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Are you, so we Gemini twins here?
Yes, we are. Yeah, mine's on Wednesday, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's an awesome gift. Wow, yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah. So where's home then?
New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Not too bad of a flight, yeah.
No, luckily. I'm like, normally my friend would like to, he wants me to stay on Sunday so we can like, Sunday fun day and then leave Monday. And I'm just like, no, I have to get back. I have responsibilities. And I just can't do this anymore. I'm getting old. Can't act like this.
Sure. Well, I'll be honest, you're for sure missing out. There's a lot of fun today.
I know.
Yeah. Chicago comes to life between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Like, it's a whole different city. Stuff to do in every neighborhood. You should just come back or quit, whatever your responsibilities are.
Yeah, no, I definitely plan. I need to, like, visit more often. I also just love where he lives up in Andersonville. It's just, like, so nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I lived in Andersonville for, like, 3 years. And then I moved to Edgewater, so it's like 5 minutes north, 2 blocks from the lake, and it's like so quiet.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's right by the college. It's really nice. Yeah. But yeah, Andersonville is so nice. It's just a wonderful area.
Yeah, and everyone's just so nice.
Right? And then all the restaurants, and yeah, you can spend so much time just hanging out and going everywhere. obviously Sunday Funday. I mean, it's brunch central. Like it truly is. Like, yeah, this is, if you, any of you say anywhere, where do I go for brunch? Andersonville. You'll find something. Go for it. Yeah.
No, I'll come back and do a Sunday Funday.
What part of New York are you in?
I live in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So I'm in Carroll Gardens.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I went to Brooklyn with a friend. I went to New York, and then we went to Brooklyn and went to Luke Hawley's Pizza.
Yeah, that's right by my house.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So that was the spot, and like that was. He said this is the best pizza he's ever had.
Yeah.
So picky.
It's
Yeah.
it's very good.
Yeah, we got lucked out. Like we went there and we walked out. We're like, oh, can we get a table? And they're like, did you reserve one? And we're like, no. And they're like, well, if you didn't reserve it on Wednesday, you're not going to get one. And it was Saturday, and I was like, okay. And there was like people sitting there waiting for their seat, and they're like, well, can we get? We're only here for today. Is there a way to get pizza? They're like, well, we do pizzas to go.
Yeah.
And she's like, and we normally do this many, but we have 2 extra ones. So if you want those. And we're like, oh, and we're like thinking about it, and the person sitting there was like, don't think about it, get the pizza, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, then yeah, we'll get the pizza. So we did, and he was like, yeah, this is amazing. So
Yeah.
that's fun. But we're only there for the weekend. I definitely want to go back also.
It's a great little neighborhood, and he just opened up a little slice shop called Baby Luke's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's like in the same neighborhood, just like down the street or up the street maybe, and that has, it's like a different style of like pizzas and like different toppings.
Okay.
So that's really fun too, and it's like a slice shop that you can always go in and get pizza.
Sure. Oh, that's cool. So just a little more often, a little more.
Yeah, it's a little more
reliable.
accessible.
Yeah.
I feel like we went. We went for my friend's birthday a couple months ago, and like her boyfriend had to go like wait in line at like 3:45 that day to put our name down.
Yeah.
So it's like, unless you have nothing to do and you can do that, like you're not getting in.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna text my buddy that they have a little shop now, and we're probably gonna have to go out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually drove because it's like a 16-hour drive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and I'm from California, so I drove
Same.
from California to here, and then I was like, I want to get the cross country, so we drove all the way. What part of California are you from?
I'm from Bakersfield.
Okay, nice.
What about you?
I grew up in Sonoma County, so Santa Rosa, by San Francisco, and then I lived in LA for my 20s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boyfriend's from Long Beach.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We met out in New York.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah.
It's the vibe. Like, you got, like, California people are different.
Yeah.
They stick together. I was at a coffee shop, and this girl had a Dodgers hat on, and I was like, what's up, Dodgers? I know you. Hi, what's up? Yeah. My phone number is a 323 phone number. I will never give it up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, in LA, I'm holding on to it. Yeah, I'm only here because my daughter's mom is from here, and like after we split up, she moved here with my daughter. So like I have 8 more years, and then I'm back in LA.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm just doing my time. What made you move to New York from?
I'm an art director.
Okay.
And so I work. It was really just work. I wanted to, when I first started out, I wanted to be like work in magazines. I always wanted to work at like Bon Appetit or Condé Nast, all of that, like that world of publishing. And I got like a freelance gig there that turned into like 4 years, and then sort of shifted into art direction, and now I'm in-house at a skincare brand. So I do a lot of their like photography and video directing. But yeah, it's for like new products and campaigns that we do.
Oh, that's so interesting. See, I hear art director and I think, okay, you work at a gallery and you say this is what we're putting up, but you design what the media that's going to be created by a company, what their image they're going to be using. Is that kind of what that works?
Exactly.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy what I do.
That's awesome. So how did you get into something like that?
I graduated with a graphic design like background, and I think just through design and then just like where I was at Bon Appetit, we did have like partnerships, and sometimes custom content would like need to be created, and so it just kind of became a thing that like you also were like putting together a photo shoot, and I always loved the projects that came with like custom content. And so then I kind of started like realizing like what I wanted to like narrow in on and like what I wanted to be like my specialty. And then I went in house. I used to work at Freshly, which was like the meal service delivery.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
And so I was the senior art director there.
Did you pick the green color?
No, I did not. But yeah, and then so after I left there, I made a pivot and I went into like beauty and skincare because I'd been in food for like the last 8 years.
I see.
Yeah.
Sure. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so that's what's bringing you back to New York. That's the responsibilities.
Yeah, we have a photo shoot coming up, and I do in-person casting in our office. So I've got to bring in. I have a bunch of talent coming in tomorrow.
I see. That's cool. So you have somebody come in, and I mean, if it's not audition, it's for the imagery. So you got to make sure they have the right look.
Yeah, I'm always casting for like the right like skin type.
Sure.
Obviously, because it's like a skincare brand, so we want to make sure that we're shooting like real people that have like real skin, and can feel like relatable versus like
Fake skin people.
Or just like like perfect skin that like is their like livelihood. Obviously, it's like we just try to like embrace like real skin and the acne and imperfections. So it helps to see it in person, because a lot of times like a picture just doesn't always, like, if they're just taking a picture of themselves, like they're clearly gonna like highlight their best angle. Like I just gotta like see it for myself. So
sure. No, I think that's a great point. Yeah, people, because of course you're selling your skin, you're selling your image, so you're gonna want it to look as best. But you want the flaws. You're looking for the skin that everybody else is gonna have, not a perfection.
Right. And I feel like sometimes it's like it's better for me to like make that call than that like them ruin their chance. Like they don't know what I'm looking for.
Right.
So
that's cool. And so it's a more boutique, less well-known skincare company?
No, it's actually quite. We got acquired by Church and Dwight, which is like Arm & Hammer and Nair and like Waterpik and like OxyClean.
Okay. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
We got acquired by them in October of last year.
Sure.
So yeah, so we sit under their like
corporate umbrella.
Umbrella, yeah. So that's been a lot.
So interesting how they do that, and the strangest companies will own the weirdest things. Like somebody's telling me, I don't remember who it was. Oh yeah, Mars Corporation owns dog food, pet food.
Oh really?
Yeah, they own a ton of the like well-known dog food brands, like Iams and Pedigree and all that stuff is owned by Mars Candy Company.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right? Like who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Yeah. It's so interesting how they do that. They just look at the pure numbers and go, all right, we'll buy it.
Yeah.
See if this makes sense or not.
For Church and Dwight, they look at. We were kind of the first beauty brand product that they were bringing into their portfolio.
Okay.
And they look for like the number one or like two product in that category. So that's like how they kind of determine whether or not they want to like go after something. If you're like the number one like pimple, like our like main claim to fame product is the hydrocolloid like mighty patches.
Okay.
Your daughter might be familiar with them.
Oh, not yet. She's not yet, but soon maybe. She's only 9, but she's soon though.
Yeah, you can get them at Target. Like they're very like we have a website. You can get them at Target, Ulta, CVS, Walmart's, and we have like a whole array of different types of like acne patches.
Okay.
But so our mighty patch pimple patch is the number one selling like best like hydrocolloid patch.
Oh, interesting.
Because we obviously have like competitors as well. So,
Sure.
But ours is definitely
So
best.
is hydrocolloid like the active chemical?
I wouldn't. It's like yes, that's like what the patch is like made out of, and it basically absorbs like the pimple like over 6 to 8 hours,
Wow.
and it absorbs the gunk out of the area, and then when you peel it off, it keeps the area like contained.
Interesting.
So you're not like spreading like bacteria.
Right, and creating all the
like
the
from
open,
picking or doing any of that stuff.
That's nice. When I was a kid, you just had to be ugly for like 5 years.
I know.
Yeah, I
Gosh.
don't know, you just have a strip to take care of it. That's great.
And it's so funny now because like a lot of time, like I mean, there are some brands that like create like designs and they're like colorful and they're like basically like stickers that you could like put on your face. But like I'll wear a pimple patch during the day, like going to work or just like running errands. Like it's just so nice to be able to like conceal it and like not have just like this white head or like any pimple.
Yeah.
Stop you, I guess.
Sure. So because you kind of match the skin tone and then you're able to blend it in.
They're clear, so they can kind of blend into the skin tone. Not so much on like deeper like skin tones, but they still blend in pretty nicely.
Sure.
There's like one that's like just like the original, and then there's one that is the invisible that is meant for more of like a daytime patch. It's a little bit thinner. But yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. And so you like doing this more than doing the food then?
I go back and forth. I love working with food, but I love working with talent and like people.
Sure.
So I don't know. There's like pros and cons to both, but I feel like in my next like whatever happens next, kind of want to just be able to like maybe not. It's not that I want to go freelance, but like be somewhere like an agency or something that has a little bit of both.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, where you can kind of play in both spaces a little more.
Yeah. Sure. And you're not as like involved in like the corporate BS. Like I just want you to hire me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, corporate's just there. All corporations have BS. That's how they work.
I know.
It's so unfortunate.
It really is.
I was reading, what is it? There's this CIA manual on how to infiltrate an organization and make it stop, like slow its functioning so that you can infiltrate it, like take over and slow it down. Like that's what the CIA does. And the handbook is like line by line what corporations do, how they manage meetings, how they staff people, how much process and overly processed things are in order to do, like if you want to turn a light switch on, you have to like get approval and say which light switch, when you're turning it on, which room is the light going to go on, and do you approve, right? Like that's, especially in IT, like that's the level of stuff you have to do, and that's just in corporations. But that means in order to turn a light switch, which takes 10 seconds, that's a 2-week long process now. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So are you gonna stay in New York? You think that's home?
I don't know. I know my boyfriend would love to go back to California at some point. Both of our families are still there. And there's a lot of good work out there. There's some brands that I like follow that I really like that I could see myself wanting to move back for or something or try. So yeah, I don't know. It just kind of depends.
Sure.
We love New York, but it doesn't have to be New York forever.
I see.
It's just such a hard city to like leave though.
Ah, okay.
Because it's like I just love being, especially in like my neighborhood, like just I love walking everywhere. I love like not having to have a car. Like I love the subway. I just love the accessibility to like restaurants and bars, and I don't know, it's just so fun.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, yes, New York is very walkable. Chicago kind of has that vibe too. If you once it's not blisteringly cold, you can go out and hang out and take public transportation. You don't need a car to live here, which is pretty cool. LA, you need a car. You can't not have one out there.
Yeah, you have to have a car out there.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been with your boyfriend?
A year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you two meet?
Just on Hinge.
Oh, nice. Hinge, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one made to be deleted, so they got a good one there.
Yeah.
They got it. Good job, guys.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah. I've been on so many Hinge dates. And I was just like, this is not ever going to work.
Oh, no.
But, and I just kept being patient.
Just kept at it. That's
Yeah.
it. It's unfortunately it's a numbers game. I think dating.
Yeah.
But the reason why is because nobody has compatibility figured out at all. Even like eHarmony and all those ones that say you have to take a test, OkCupid, all this stuff. I'm the worst spokesperson for online dating because I use all of them. And so they've actually found statistically every dating app is equally as successful as just pairing people up at random.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all of them. It's all random. It's just numbers. That's all it is.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Yeah. What does your boyfriend do?
He is an editor, acquisitions editor at Columbia University Press. So he works with like professors and academics to publish like work or to get tenure through the university. So each university essentially has like a very small like academic press.
Sure.
And he loves doing that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's, press is going away, so finding a gig that you can do that and enjoying that you're doing that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I know, he always gets so upset. Nobody wants to buy books anymore.
Yeah. Does he have a big library?
We do, yes. It's like took over a whole like wall in the hallway. But it looks really good.
Sure, it looks great. When you have to move cross country, though, that's a hassle.
Yeah, that's not going to be fun.
Nope.
Yeah, because I think when he packed up his apartment, I think there were like 12 boxes of books.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And the guy, I felt so bad for the movers, like moving the we live on the 4th floor.
Yep. Walk up, or do you have an elevator?
Walk up.
Yep.
And the guys were just like, what are in these boxes? And I'm like, they're books. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find yourself rereading books often, like the same types?
I am actually not a huge reader. I've been getting into reading, obviously, since we started dating. I just need like kind of like a rom-com book. But sometimes I think, I don't know, it takes a lot for me to get into a book. So there's been a couple I've recently read that I liked, but I'm definitely not rereading.
What are some of the ones that you found that you liked?
So there's a writer, something Jenkins, but she's the one that wrote like The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. She did Daisy Jones and the Six. And so the stories are just like, they're kind of not pop culture, but like the Daisy Jones and the Six is like roughly kind of like inspired by like Fleetwood Mac, I would say.
Oh, okay.
And the way that it was like, the book was also written, it was like an interview style. And so it was very easy to just like digest like everything versus just like chapter after chapter. So I really enjoyed that format that she did for that book. And then the other one, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, was kind of a similar, it was broken up by husband. So the story was like told by like each husband, or from like the era, like the time where she was with each husband.
Oh, I see. I was gonna say, was it 7 at a time or just one?
No, it was like throughout her life.
Okay.
She basically like brings on this like journalist to write her like memoir.
Sure.
And they like meet like daily or a couple times a week, and she's just documenting, and like she's like a famous actress, and like she's telling her story and like kind of like all of her deep dark secrets that like she's hidden from the world for however long. And then like the thing is that like she's dying, and so they've got to like get the book like all the information, and then she can't publish it until after she's passed.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was a really good book.
Hmm.
I think they're making it into a show or a movie or something.
Really? Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I know, because so Reese Witherspoon's production company, I think.
Yeah,
she
she's
really
good at that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so she just made Daisy Jones and the Six a TV show.
Yeah.
And obviously the book was like 10 times better, but
Sure.
it's just so fun to see those characters and that story come to life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hear Reese Witherspoon, like, that's her thing. She buys up whatever books are out there, buys the rights to them,
Mm-hmm.
and then will turn them into something. 'Cause
Right.
she's like, that's how she's making a lot of money. So that's
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. Those are interesting stories, right? Like this
Yeah.
subject. I didn't even think rom-com would be a type of book, but of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? It makes
It
perfect sense.
might not be what they like call it, but it's what I think of, where it's like there's clearly a love interest.
Yeah.
Because I mean I love watching rom-coms, so it only makes sense that that's what I would like in a. Because then you get to start using your imagination and
Sure.
creating all these like pictures in your head.
Do you have a good meet cute type story for you and your boyfriend?
Not. I mean, the funny thing is like so he grew up in Long Beach. I'm from Bakersfield,
Mm-hmm.
and both of our moms are from Fresno.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so when we like started talking, he had actually like had left. We'd gone on one date, and then we had matched, and then he went out of town for 2 weeks because it was Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So we just talked for those 2 weeks, and then when he got back from Thanksgiving is when we finally went out. So but once I found out that he had family in Fresno, I like just kind of knew. I was like, you just get it. Like,
Sure.
You're like, this is gonna be it was just such an easy like once we met, it just was so like comfortable, and just like I'd known him like my whole life.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very serendipitous.
Yeah.
It's a question I like to ask people. If, movies take place there, a snippet of a life, never the whole life itself, would you say you've had your movie out of the snippets of your life already?
I would say I have had the movie, yeah, because I feel like it's all been very career oriented.
Sure.
So it's very much more so like, I think right now I'm in like the episode of like a relationship and like kind of like being a partner,
Mm-hmm.
whereas before it was always like kind of a building my independence and living on my own.
Mm-hmm.
They're across the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then just working really hard to get where I am now. So
Nice.
yeah.
So that's the story arc of the movie, is an independent woman kind of creating her career and what she's going to do, and then meeting a guy from somewhere similar to where she was. And
Mm-hmm.
that's fun. All right,
Yeah.
who's going to play the main character?
Who is gonna play the main character? I feel like I would want Reese Witherspoon.
That's what I was thinking. That's so fun. She's great, so that would be, I could see that. And she'd totally kill the role, so that makes
Mhm.
sense. Yeah, she'd do great. You and the boyfriend want kids someday?
Yeah, definitely. My sisters both just had, I guess, 2 nephews, and then my sisters just started having kids 2 years ago, and then my one sister just had another baby like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And I've like never loved something more than those little girls.
So another little Gemini baby, so that's pretty,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, and this one's the first boy of the family.
Oh.
A family of all girls. So this is our first boy.
Wow, that's fun. So yeah, because you said sisters, so you have 2 sisters? Do you have?
Yeah. Just the 2 sisters. They're twins.
Oh, they're twins. Oh.
Which is then funny because my boyfriend is a twin.
Ah, okay.
So, no.
Identical twin?
No, they're both fraternal.
Oh, okay. I'd say which is your favorite twin, but I think we know.
Yeah, they're so different. It's so funny.
Are your sisters identical?
No, they're fraternal as well.
Okay. Oh, that's so interesting. I actually I've seen 3 pairs of identical twins today.
Really?
Yeah, I was so surprised by it, but I was like, yeah, while I was driving around, it was like just crossing the street, walking by,
Oh my
walking
gosh.
by. Yeah, and I'm like, what does that say? What does that mean if you see 3 in a day?
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, kids are wonderful. Again, I have a daughter, so she's like, that's the one I've got now. But I'm Mexican, so I'm like legally required to have 8 to 10 children. So we'll see what happens. What's your number? How many do you want?
I would be fine with 2. I would say 2 or 3, depending on like my life situation.
Sure. Do you have names picked out already?
What?
Do you have names picked out already?
No, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like right now it would only be pick something because of like a trend or
Sure.
something, but I don't know. Yeah.
Just kind of let it come.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm such a like over planner for so many other parts of my life. Like there's some things I just like need to like let be and let happen.
Sure. I feel like a name has a lot to do with the person. The person can it'll define a personality sometimes, depending on who they are. So it's good to meet them and then go, oh, I think this would be a good name for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's smart, honestly, because like my kid's mom said that we came up with a bunch of names, and then she would get morning sickness thinking of that name and hated the name. Like it would just happen. So many names we went through, so many. And then we took 2 days after she was born, and the second day we came up with her actual name.
Oh, nice. What did you guys land on?
Her name's Isabella.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but she goes by Bella. She prefers that. So
Cute.
yeah. And then I'm a junior, so like if I get one after me, then it'll be the 3rd, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Has a good ring to it, so we'll see. We'll see. And my daddy passed away a few weeks ago, but I told him they'll be the 3rd, just so you know. So he smiled.
Sorry about that.
So it's part of life. It happens.
They're still in California, or?
Yep. Yeah. They're all out there. I'm the only one here. Yeah. So I got to go, which was nice. It was a reason to go and have In-N-Out Burger, so that was great.
Yeah. Oh, I miss In-N-Out.
It's just as good. It's delicious. And my kid, same thing, because she hadn't been since we moved out here in 2018. So I took her to see my dad and everything too. And like literally, like we got off the airplane and she's like, "Where's the nearest one? Let's go. We're going now." And fortunately, there's one 10 minutes from San Francisco Airport, so we went straight to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
she
awesome.
loved it.
Is there always this much traffic on the way to the airport, or do you think it's like also the Taylor Swift concert?
There is a lot of traffic on the way to the airport here, and you're going to see it just clears up for no reason, which is what we're doing now. Fortunately, you didn't have to come from like downtown, because downtown has the 9094 getting construction. If you see how it's a parking lot here,
Oh, yeah.
it's all the way. The whole thing is just a ton of people. And it's because it's down to 2 lanes from 4.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad. But yeah, here there's just this interchange. There's just a ton of traffic, and then right here at the end it opens up. But if you saw, there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
Nothing. It didn't change the number of lanes. It didn't do. There's nothing. It's just people just, oh, we can drive faster. We'll drive faster now. Okay. No reason. What time's your flight?
2:50.
2:50. You'll be fine. Oh, here's pretty easy. United. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I've got pre-check as well, so
Oh,
I'm not checking the bags.
yeah. Nice. How long's the flight to New York? It's like, what, 2 hours?
I think it's 2 hours. I lose
An hour, yeah.
an hour going back, but I'm just excited to be in my own bed tonight.
That's, yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, I'm like very much like LA feels like home to me. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, this is where I belong. But my house, my bed, my home is like,
Right.
there's something to it. I like being home. Even if I were back in LA, I'd still want that.
Totally.
Yeah,
It's just like your safe space that you like created.
yeah, exactly. I think that says something to it. Yeah, the space you make is really it. And so you and your boyfriend live together?
Yeah, we do. We just moved in January.
Oh, nice.
My roommate at the time was moving out. She had just bought a place.
Uh-huh.
And so it was like kind of that in between. We'd obviously kind of talked about it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I wasn't gonna like pressure him to be like, because our leases were off, so he was gonna have to like figure out like that in between, or like if he could like sublet it or whatever.
Sure.
But it all worked out.
That's cool.
It's been so like just easy.
That's awesome. When
Yeah.
it works that way, that's really great.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was like, I had 2 people in the car and they were like driving, and like the guy just happens to ask her if he wants to move in with him, like while we're driving. I was like, all right, cool. I'll just hang out for this conversation. But it was good. She was like, of course, yeah, absolutely. I was like, all right, cool, all right. But like, I could see in the rear view, he's like very nervous. I was like, all right, dude, just asking out. And he was
And
like,
he chose like
Yeah.
in the Uber?
in the Uber on the way, and they're on their way to a play. Like, what if she said no? Now you have to
Right.
sit next to each other at a play. Like,
Right.
worst timing ever, dude. Yeah,
That's really funny.
yeah. Do you have any pets?
No, my mom has a dog that was like our family dog. She's like a little Yorkie, but I would feel so bad in like our apartment and my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I love dogs, but
Right, they
a lot
need
of work.
someone. Yeah,
Do you?
That's like a kid. I have a kid. I have a dog. Yeah, and a kid. So,
What
it's
kind of
actually
dog?
it's an English bulldog.
Nice.
Yeah, she's technically my kid's dog, but like my kid spends time with her mom and me, so it's like mostly my
She
dog.
brings it. Oh, got it.
Yeah, so it's she just stays with me the whole time. So
Oh, the dog
Yeah,
does.
the dog does. Yeah. But she's a little English bulldog, so she's a great apartment dog. She's a runt, so like she walks a block and she's done. That's it. You can't get any more out of her.
That's funny.
Yeah, which again I like because it means I don't have to go out in the snow that much.
Right? Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, when I'm not doing this, I work in tech 9 to 5.
Oh, nice.
So like she just, and I work from home, so she just sits there on a bed, just sleeps all day. So it's nice. It's convenient.
So were you just like out and about for today, like doing ride? Because I noticed it was like kind of took a while to like get someone to accept my ride to the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder why. So have you ever watched that movie, the Jim Carrey movie, Yes Man?
Yes, I have.
Right? Where he has to say yes to everything. You want to go to a point, right? So that's how I drive. If it comes up, I say yes, whatever the app is, like whatever the option is. And so I love it because I get to explore Chicago and go to new places and have new dinners. So like that's what I enjoy.
Oh, fun.
But the reason I do the show or this driving is because I'm a comedian. I'm a stand-up comedian.
Oh my god. I
And
love
so I'm playing with like doing a show, having these conversations called Getting in Cars with Strangers.
it. Yeah.
Because I just talk to people while I go. This is a microphone. And,
Oh, wow.
Right? So like I'm like maybe it's good. I don't know if it works or not. So like I'm testing it today. So like that's why I'm driving. But like that's why my passion. I really just love these interactions. Like
Yeah. No, it's been very lovely. I was like in a very fragile state when I got into this car, and I feel a lot better.
Oh, I'm so glad. And that's what I want. That's what I try for. And that's the reason why I want to do it. Like I was doing this in the Bay Area in San Francisco when I lived there, and people were like, you should do this. Like this is like therapy. Like you are a really good person to talk to. So
Yeah, you have like a very nice, like soothing voice.
oh, awesome. That's great. Well, thank you. Now I'm with my hands all day. That's great. I was yesterday this lady, she was driving, she's like in her mid-30s, and where she was texting this guy she met on an online dating app, and it was like he was just like kind of junky, like he sucked. He was like didn't want to go out, didn't want to do anything. He was in his 40s and she was like in her mid-30s, and you know, I was having the conversation with her, and I was like, are you like having fun? Are you having a great time with this person? You already have kids, you already have your own house, you already have your own career. So the only thing this person is going to bring to you is fun, joy. Do you have that? And she's like, no. I was like, that's it, dump him.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
That's it. And so we talked about relationships and all that stuff. And at the end, when she got out, she's like, thank you for the therapy session. And she's like, this was great.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. But yeah, that's what. Yeah, I'm all for that. The conversation, the connection, and just have a good time. That's what I like.
Yeah. That's great.
You know what? I think there's a lot of Swifties leaving the city today. This
I
might be
think
right.
there are,
Yeah.
definitely.
That might be what this is right here. So here
Yeah.
you are united.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It was great chatting. I hope you have a great
Nice to
flight.
meet you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.